Please. Bring it back. I'll do anything. Anything you want. Bring it back. Please, bring it back!
A Plague Tale Requiem needs a DLC, providing players with alternate endings considering their actions across the game. The game, as it is not enough, at least to me. Simply giving the player the choice between having Amicia or Lucas kill Hugo is really not my idea of multiple endings. It is simply a way for the game to end if the player refuses to kill Hugo himself. Some people might argue that this game is a narrative-focused experience, similar to The Last of Us, and as such, it can only have one finale. But I dare to differ. A Plague Tale is obviously similar to The Last of Us. The designers even admitted the latter as a point of inspiration for them. But that doesn't mean they have to be identical and commit the same mistakes. In fact, The Last of Us 2 would have benefited with alternate endings. I'm not going to get into spoiler territory because I know some of my viewers haven't played that game. But for those that know what I'm talking about, there is a certain controversial decision that Ellie takes at the ending of that game that many fans didn't agree with. If the writers had given the player the option to decide what to do during the conclusion, many more people would have been satisfied with that game. The same happens here in A Plague Tale Requiem. If it were up to the player to decide how the game ends, I wouldn't be complaining right now. In fact, I would be praising the game more and possibly making the sequel to Amicia and Hugo A Tale of Two Siblings. After all, that is the beauty of video games. Video games are the only form of art in which the player is as much a participant as he is a spectator. You can only watch a painting or movie, or you can only read a book or listen to music, but a video game needs the player to play it so it can manifest itself. The involvement of the player in these virtual experiences, the ability to change the course of these fantastical worlds, is part of what makes video games special and stand out to so many, myself included. Even the narrative-focused games benefit from player expressionism. Ellie Williams or Joel Miller will stand idle until the player presses the prompts to get them moving, and the characters will always reflect a little something of the player that controls them. An aggressive player will make these characters look brutal and menacing. A stealthy player will make them look refined and cautious. So even a narrative-focused game changes when the player takes control. So why limit the player so much? Why not open the doors a bit wider so they can fulfill themselves a little bit more and criticize a little bit less? I sometimes believe that these creators of entertainment, whether they are movies or games or TV shows or whatever, strive on criticism and hate. It is almost like a negative publicity campaign, but I don't think that is wise on the long run, because disappointing fans so much can lead to distrust and the damaging of future projects. How many people bought The Last of Us 2 after the worldwide success of the first game? Basically everyone. Now, how many people will buy The Last of Us 3 after their disappointments with the second entry? We'll have to see, but I'm sure some will decide to save their money for something that they think will be better. The same thing with Asobo Studios. This studio treated me better in A Plague Tale Innocence by providing me with a happier ending and better rewarding my stealth. But after the same studio literally forced themselves on me and rewarded my completion with scenes of defeat and ultimately the fratricide of a beloved character that reminded me so much of the little brother I've wished I had, I can no longer trust them with my money and my time. So Asobo Studio basically lost a client in me. You have games like Prince of Persia, Warrior Within, which is not a good game narrative-wise, but is still a fun experience that rewards player investment by providing meaningful weapons that can alter your late game playthrough, and even alternate endings in which you manage to save the very person you were always meant to destroy. I replayed Shadwen, a similar game to the A Plague Tale series, because I wanted to see its various endings, and believe me, I am not disappointed. I completed Batman Arkham Knight solely for the true ending, and I was so satisfied with it that I replayed the game on New Game Plus because I wanted to experience the game, story and gameplay once again. I replayed Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice to unlock Druth's addition to the ending, an addition that exposes the truth of Dillion's murder and adds more light into the revelation of Galina's apparent suicide. So I could do the same with A Plague Tale Requiem. I have criticized this game severely in the past, and for reasons that I still believe are very true and valid, but I am willing to forgive all of that if the designers give me the chance to save Hugo. And there are various ways that could be accomplished without having to alter the story considerably or redesign the levels. I think they could add more variables to the program per se, giving more weight to your actions. Actions like how many people you kill throughout the game, or how non-lethally you play. Actions like how many flowers, feathers and souvenirs you find through each level. Maybe by unlocking all collectibles you strengthen Hugo's resolve and willpower, and he doesn't give in entirely to the macula when he thinks his sister is dead, thus permitting Amicia to reach him and save him once she shows herself alive before his relieved eyes. Maybe, if you have Amicia and Hugo murder everyone in their own way, we get an ending in which Hugo actually becomes king of a ruined world. Or an ending in which both siblings die, and it is Lucas, with Sophia, the ones that bury them and visit their tomb in the epilogue. The possibilities are endless. I know the game is called A Plague Tale Requiem for a reason, but that reason doesn't have to mean Hugo's death only. The Requiem itself could signify different things, further emphasized by the alternate endings. The Requiem could be Hugo's death, or Amicia's, or both. It could also mean the destruction of the world as they know it. If both siblings get to live, then they celebrate Requiem in honor to their dead mother and father, in memory of the servants of the Darun estate, in memory of Arno, Roderick, Arthur, Father Thomas, Dr. Laurentius, Joseph, and all those that died because of the war and the plague. Hugo would feel the burden of all these deaths on his shoulder. He would hate himself, and Amicia, his ever-present guide and guardian, tells him that it was not his fault. She tells him that if he wants to do right by the world, then he should dedicate his life to bring good to those that surround him whenever he can, but most importantly, do right by himself, because one cannot protect and help others if one is hurt or in grief. A lesson she herself learned the hard way through the course of the game, and a principle she has seen manifesting dramatically in her own brother through both games. Hugo embraces her, but tells her the pain is still there, and she tells him that pain, like everything else in life, is something to be embraced, because it is at times the one thing reminding us not to repeat the same mistakes of the past. Give us the chance as Sobo Studio. Do not repeat the same mistakes of Naughty Dogs. Give us the way to save Hugo and enjoy your game more. Give something worthwhile to completionists and to those that believe in you and want to support you. I would like to replay your game in New Game Plus mode, and I would like to delve deeper into its mechanics and perhaps even upload a few gameplay videos in my other channel. But I just don't feel like undergoing this long, tedious and agonizing journey again, only to get to the same conclusion. Please, Sobo Studio, do this for me and for those that think as I do, and do this for the real-life big sisters whose hearts were broken with this game. Real life is hard already as it is, so why make things worse with the fiction we make? Why create games that divide the fanbase when we can create games that join them in happiness and satisfaction? These are questions that nobody can really answer. I am just a simple man with unfulfilled paternal instincts that were catered gently in A Plague Tale Innocence and lacerated severely in Requiem. I would like to make a request to those that are listening to me right now. If any of you that agree with me is another content creator, then make a video spreading the word. You have my complete permission to use clips from this video to make your own, if you are in need of any. Just spread the word so Asobo Studio realizes that it would be a good move for them, commercially, to make this DLC and provide us with a happy ending the Rune siblings deserve. We have to do this now, before Logan Hanna grows too old and his voice changes completely. Do you imagine what a Christmas gift that would be this next year? Or perhaps release the DLC while celebrating the second anniversary of the game's release. Whichever time they choose, it would be amazing. Now, 2023 is closing to its end, on the other hand, and before we are done, I would like to upload one last video about something else. This one will revolve around a game that I played the first time earlier this year, and I've wanted to talk about it in this channel passionately. That game is, of course, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. So, if you like this game and you feel comfortable reflecting with me, then stay on the lookout, because we'll be getting together to make something that hopefully you will like. You might consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss this one when it comes out. I also wanted to thank you for liking my most recent Batman video, the Arkham Asylum video, so much. Nearly 400 views and 22 likes are better than most other videos I've been doing. You know, I don't get 1 million views and 1,000 subscribers, so 22 likes and nearly 400 views is worth celebrating, for me, considering where I started a year ago, so thank you. That being said, I will return one last time this year to sail the Caribbean Sea in command of the Jackdaw, to reflect on the character of Edward Kenway, easily one of the best protagonists in gaming history. Stay on the lookout, be safe, and if you have a sibling that you love very much, then thank you. Fraternal love is one of the most beautiful things in life, and those that understand that and uphold it are deserving of a bow of recognition. Thank you again, my friend, and farewell.